Hi there, welcome to Microsoft Intune Training Series. This is the series number 12. In the past, we have completed 11 more series, and within this series, we are going to learn about application deployment, or you call it as a software deployment for your devices. So this is going to be a base introduction. I'm not going to jump into any of the demos, but this complete lecture will be focused on application deployment for all kind of platforms. Later point we will be, in the next lecture onwards, we would be focusing on Windows, and later point when we move to Android and iOS, we will be learning more about the application deployment with respect to the platforms, because the easiest method to learn always by platform, not as a at once. That's my teaching style. I'm going to deliver to you all. And as you know, this is going to be the complete Intune training series. If you have not yet subscribed or visiting for the first time, please do subscribe or check out the description for more videos on complete Microsoft Intune training. And also I have made a playlist. You can check out the Intune training playlist, which is mentioned within this description of this video. So let's begin. So this is going to be more about the presentation, not into the portal, but we will try to navigate very little bit on a portal. But let's try to understand. The first thing first, we're going to learn about the application deployment, or you call it as a software deployment, either way, but this is going to be more about the by platform, right? So we will start with the Windows. In fact, we have been working already with the Windows platform from the last 11 series, and this is going to be the lecture in a general for all platforms. So once we finish the Windows platform, we will move to Android and followed by iOS and Mac. So that's going to be we are going to learn later point. So let's understand what exactly application deployment. Application deployment can be, let's say if you take it a Windows device, you want some software, that software to be available automatically. So that's where SCCM will be useful for you in the past, right? So now from the same family of your config MGR or configuration manager, that's nothing but the endpoint manager, we call it, our endpoint manager admin center point of view. Now with the help of Intune, you could actually achieve the same thing to automatically push any kind of application to your Windows or Mac or iOS or Android devices. How this can be achieved? So first thing first, at least if you can think about it, all these platforms that the companies, okay, like let's say Windows from a Microsoft, right? So for Apple devices, Apple has Apple own store. So the application they will, any developer or anybody will upload there. So the store consists of applications. Similarly for Android, Google Play Store. So Google Play Store consists of all the applications that can be used on your Android devices. Similarly for Windows, of course you can get it as MSI or .exe. Apart from that, a common thing would be for other models like Apple and Google, how we are using. Similarly, we also have Microsoft Store. So similar thing, you could actually use and use the Microsoft Store to deploy the applications. So what we are trying to say is you can deploy the applications either from a Microsoft Store or from your Intune console. So how this is going to work is just explain. What we will be doing is we will be integrating our account. Let's say if it is Microsoft, we will if you're talking about Microsoft Store account, integrate Microsoft account or your live account or Hotmail account or your company account with Microsoft Store, and you would be purchasing the applications once, or you would actually push directly by using that purchase account to your devices. Same goes to Apple devices. So what will happen is company will have their own company account, and by using that company Apple account, we would purchase the applications and we would deploy them. Same thing goes for Android also. We will have one Google account and we will go to Google Play Store and we will purchase those applications. Maybe it's a free or paid. We would do the transaction from Intune point of view, and then we would push it to the target users based on the AD groups, right? But now think about what next. This is not the full solution. If you think about the endpoint management, this is not going to be a full solution. You may be thinking why this is not going to be a full solution. The reason being, once you have applications consist of data. This data is from your organization's data, and that must be protected, right? Let's say there is a user who is using his personal device, and he have configured, maybe how he or she configured his Outlook, and then the company data exists on the personal device. Now the question comes, how you're going to secure it, right? The data must have to be secured. So one critical thing is automatically deploying. Yes, that can be achieved with the Intune, but how about protecting the data? That can be also done with the help of Microsoft Intune with a configuration called app protection policies. So app protection policies will help you as a complete solution to secure the data, for example, by taking your photographs, or the data should be fully encrypted if you want, or additional layer of security, complex passwords can be configured on those devices wherever your company data exists on those applications, and cut, copy, paste, all of that can be fully prevented. So that's where a full solution will come into the picture to protect the applications that you are going to deploy with the help of app protection policies. So this app protection policies are very critical, and we are going to work on these in the upcoming lectures. You could check out that lecture with the title definitely somewhere in the description of this video. You might be also wondering, let's say if there's an application got deployed and it is fully protected, that's good, but can I configure automatically some kind of configurations on those applications? Yes, you could do that with the help of app configuration policies. So now you have a complete solution, my friends. Think in this direction. Now Intune can push the application and it can configure for you. The automated configuration can be done for that specific applications, and the application's data that exists within that application fully protected with the help of app protection policies. So now it's a complete solution, right? So you should be in a good position to understand this entire concept. I hope this short introduction for application deployment and protecting and configuring the applications automatically will be useful for you. Now let's begin to the actual content of this series. Number 12, which is application deployment. Let's understand how you can deploy the applications. As I already given you a hint, you could actually do the application deployment with store. So every company has like when I say a company here, the Microsoft has Microsoft Store, Google has Google Play Store, and also you have the Apple has Apple's Play Store. So different stores you have. So that's what I've listed here. You could see here Android Store, iOS Store, Microsoft Store for app, and also managed Google Play. There's nothing but your Google Play, don't worry about it. And I'm gonna deep dive on the managed Google Play also in the upcoming lectures when we move to Android platform, when we try to learn. And this is the lecture coming from a Windows platform, so I'm going to focus on a Windows in the upcoming few lectures, and later point we will move to Android, followed by iOS and Apple and Mac devices. But for now, this is a general topic that we are talking. Application deployment is in a general. You could actually get an applications directly from any of these stores, right? So Intune can deploy by using these stores, meaning you need to have a connectivity with, as we talked in the past, like last 4-5 minutes back, that we talked about we will configure our own account, in this case Microsoft account, Hotmail account, or Google account, or maybe Apple account, Apple ID account, to get those applications from these stores, and we will also deploy. Now you might have a question, hey, is this only the thing that you can deploy? No, you also have an option. Microsoft made an easiest way for you. For example, if you're talking about the most common applications, definitely the Office 365 applications, or now it has been rebranded as Microsoft 365 apps, right? So these like Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all of these consist of your common things, right? These things can be directly pushed with the help of Windows on Windows 10 devices or later devices like Windows 11, and also on Mac devices you could do it, and this is direct option is available in your Intune. And also you have another section within the app deployment, like very similar to the Microsoft 365. The common thing is what Microsoft says is, hey, you could use the Microsoft Edge as a browser, modern browser, instead of the Chrome or Firefox or any other browsers. So if you want to deploy that, they also made it readily available for you. So you could use any of these two options apart from the store. Now here the tricky thing comes, my friends, and this is very critical in this block. The fourth block is very important. Out of this fourth block, there are two things very important. One is a line of business application, other one would be the Windows app or Win32 applications. We are going to talk on this also within this lecture, but let's come from the top. So if you are trying to push the Microsoft Defender for ATP or Defender antivirus, for Mac, you would be using this, and also other options which are available. The most common one would be the web link. Web link is nothing but a short link, short URL that can be placed on your desktops or maybe on a start menu if you want it, but in fact it actually comes on a start menu, not on a desktop, but you could achieve that with your PowerShell scripts. But in general it comes on a start menu or on your phones. If you're talking about a phone, maybe on a phone it comes as a home screen as a one application. Let's say you have a Team SharePoint portal, for example company latest updates or maybe IT help desk portal, then you could actually publish that as a web link so that it will be available wherever the user goes, maybe on an iPhone or maybe on an Android device or on a Windows device on a start menu. So it is available as a web link, or it's just a short link, short URL, or the URL that will be placed on the start button if it is a Windows 11 or 10 devices. And for others it would be on a home screen, it will be placed just like as any other application. Now we're talking about the built-in applications. The built-in applications like a common things like Outlook kind of applications, that also common used applications can be pushed, and other applications would be the line of business applications and also Win32 application. I'm going to deep dive these two in the next slide, but let's also understand Android Enterprise App System. As name suggested, this is for Android devices, and when you see here Android Enterprise, meaning these are the applications are fully dedicated for your corporate devices, not for the personal devices. And these applications you could contact even your device manufacturer vendor to push it up, get the exact app package name and all of that stuff. Then you could actually deploy them with the help of Android Enterprise app. Okay, we are going to deep dive all of these. We are not going to leave any of these options, but just explain these are the types of applications are available to deploy from Microsoft Intune. And now what we have not finished within this slide is we didn't explain about much on a line of business applications and of Windows app Win32. And I also said that these are very important and the most frequently used when compared with any of these things. So most frequently used, most common, and most critical and most important. Even you might get the most troubleshooting problems also in this. So let's understand what exactly line of business applications are. LOB in short. So these are the applications which you develop in your company as an in-house application, and you might have your own developer, or you might have your own packaging team who's gonna package these. If you could if you are coming from your SCCM background in the past, you might be using your packaging team to package that entire installation source files for silent installation customization to happen with the help of packaging team, right? So the same packaging team, they're going to package these things in any of these formats. You could see here APK, IPK, IPA, and also .intune Mac or .msi Apex and Apex bundle, MSI X, and also MSI bundle format. So these are the formats only accepted in a line of business applications. Let's say if you have an EXE, you cannot push with LOB. That should be done with the Win32 model, not on an LOB method. Okay, so that's a thing that you should be able to do, or that .exe should be converted into MSI format with the help of your team, which is a packaging team in this case. So that's how it's going to work. I hope you might have understand about the line of business applications. This is very simple application. You can have your own applications that needs to be converted into any of these formats, otherwise it's not going to work. And the final question would be about the Win32 applications. Let's also understand that Win32 is nothing but the current legacy applications that you are using from a long. Let's say you might have .exe files or maybe .msi, but you wanted to package them in a format, because if you think about the major difference between the Win32 application and also from the line of business applications, the major difference would be, let's say there is an application that consists of 10 different source files, right? An application source can consist of 10 different sources, right? And that 10 source files will call one file, could be a 11th file, which is a setup file, for example setup.msi or setup.exe, right? So what we do in the legacy mode or in the past with SCCM, we used to pass the silent commands for MSI with a /i for install and also /qb, all of that parameters we used to pass it, right, with the MSI. But this is not going to work here as it is. It needs little bit changes, because when you consist of a more than one file as a bundle, as a source file, you cannot deploy as a line of business application. The reason being very simple. It needs just a single file. It just needs a single file. It cannot accept as a multiple files. That's where your team has to convert into a bundle. Okay, so entire files has to be in a right format, and it has to be as a bundle. Then it can be deployed as a line of business application. But if you cannot do that, then you should be using the Win32 method. Here also the same thing. You cannot use exe, you cannot use MSI, but that entire source, which consists of 10 or 11 different source files, needs to be converted in a format called .intune win format. I repeat, that's a format called .intune win format, and there is a conversion tool is available, Win32 packaging tool, and that tool will convert the entire source, which is your packaging team has been already created that entire source, which is working fine for you when they execute that silent command. So the entire thing they will convert, and they will hardcode that silent installation commands and the source folder, all of that stuff into the .intune win format, and they will start using Win32 app method. And this method will be using Intune management extensions also will be used. That's additional software binaries that are used within the Intune. That's a tool which will be used to deploy or execute or unpackage the method of .intune win format file, and it will start using for installation method. That's called Intune management engine, which is very useful in terms of the troubleshooting, and you would be using all the logs that are respected to that Intune management engine, specific logs only when it comes to a challenge when you try to deploy Win32 apps. So let's go to Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center and have a look on where's the applications, navigation, all of that stuff as a high level, because we're not going to deep dive. We will be deep dive based in the platform model with application specific. You could see here from a Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center, just navigate to Applications. As I said in the beginning also, we always try to learn by platform. So you can deploy the applications based on these any of the platform. In this case, all application if I choose, meaning all of these compatible applications can be deployed when I click on Add button. So here it's going to show me a different applications. So you see here Google, iOS, Android, these are all the store applications, right? If you wanted to deploy some Android store application, you would be using here, or iOS or Microsoft Store applications. Same thing here for Office 365 apps. We did discussed about the Office 365 in general and browser specific for Windows and Mac and Defender for Mac and other applications like WebLink and built-in applications, LOB and Win32 and company dedicated devices specific Android enterprise applications. You could deploy it, or you could also deploy by platform so that only the required applications will be shown which are applicable. If you see, the list has been decreased because it's just showing with respect to the Windows applications like a Windows Store. So we lost the Android and Mac specific or other iOS specific store. So because we are in a navigation by platform called with a filter Windows application. So you could deploy any of these applications. We did talk about very extensively within this lecture with stressing that line of business applications and applications, legacy applications are very important to deploy. So you could deploy from here or line of business applications from here. So you could notice that the same things, the same seamless experience that I've presented within this lecture is you're able to see here. So that's how we will be using and we will be deploying. So you can wait for the next lecture where we're gonna learn more about the Windows specific deployment. We would be going with the applications directly from here to deploy on our enrolled devices. Later point we would go for Android and we'll come back to the iOS as we go and learn more and more device specific configurations. So currently we are in the Windows platform. Once we finish the Windows platform, we will move to Android and then iOS, and also we will be talking later point the advanced topics that are available like integrating with your SCCM or with your config MGR as well as with the autopilot enrollment, all of that stuff. I hope this entire lecture is useful for you. Thank you for watching this, and we'll catch you in the next lecture on Windows application deployment. I hope it's useful for you. If you really like it, give a thumbs up and comment. If you have any doubts, please do comment. I'm happy to help you out. Thanks a lot.